Good evening, Dr.
Evening, how are you? Good? Okay, guys, so let us start the lecture for today. Okay, so today we are going to continue our CNC machining lecture. Okay,
Dr.
and
Mute your microphone.
hello, 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 hello.
Okay, clear.
Can you hear? Okay, so so today we are going to continue our lecture on CNC machining. Okay, so yesterday you guys had some brief introduction on the machining. So today we are going to solve some of the problems of G and M codes, and there will be a class exercise for you guys as well. That class exercise will be shared on Google Classroom. It will be a very simple exercise. Once we start solving, then you guys can later on attempt that. Uh, After today's class for tomorrow, I will be uploading the recorded video for the next chapter, which is rapid prototyping. So CNC class, CNC topic was covered as online class, and rapid prototyping will be covered in video. Okay, so I will be uploading and posting a video on rapid prototyping, and then you guys can go through that video, and then with these CNC and rapid prototyping topic, your first part of the course will complete. Okay, and from this we will are going to have our test number 2. Okay, so test number 2 will be from CNC programming and rapid prototyping. Use light background, I guess. Okay, This is better. Okay. So test 2 will comprise of CNC as well as rapid prototyping topic. CNC will be covered online in the online classes, whereas rapid prototyping will be covered in the video. Tomorrow I will be uploading the video part of rapid prototyping topic. It is important for you guys to go through today's lecture because a major part of today's lecture will be covered in the test. So it is important that today you guys pick your pen and paper and let's practice the G and M codes together. Okay. Test 1 will be coming. Test 1 will be based on today's lecture, mostly G and M coding. Okay, so this will be one question. And question number 2 will be from rapid prototyping. Okay, so this will be your test number 2. Test number 2. Okay, so be prepared guys for test number 2 after I finish the topic CNC as well as rapid prototyping. Okay, the test number 2, I would like to get your feedback on when do you guys want to have test number 2. Would you like to have it next week or next week, next Sunday, or the Sunday coming after the next Sunday? When is your preference? Do you want it to be early or do you want to be later? So I'm open for feedback. You guys can open your mics and let me know what is your preference.
I prefer on Sunday afternoon next week.
Next week, Sunday.
Yeah.
Next week, Sunday afternoon, huh?
I'm not sure about the rest.
Yeah. Let's see who says what. So if everybody is okay with next week afternoon Sunday, then we can fix the day. Next week Sunday is going to be 6th of June. So it will be 6th of June 2021. And the time would be obviously 8 p.m. as per your guys' preference. Can be earlier, can be later, up to you. So if everybody is okay, then we can proceed to 6th June 2021, 8 p.m. for test number 2.
Maybe we will discuss first lah. Maybe another student have class next week.
I see. Understood. So, okay, no worries. Discuss and let me know if you guys want any changes later on. Okay. Okay, no worries. Okay, guys, so today we start our examples for CNC programming, GNM code. So let us take a look at our first example. Our first example relates to a problem. This is the problem which is given in the book, As an example, it has been solved already. However, for the sake of learning, we will solve together in the class, so that if anybody has any confusion about the application of any G or M code, then he or she can ask me in the class. So together we are going to solve this problem. So here in the problem, as you guys can see, we have got a machining part, and this is a part that we need to machine. In this part, we need to drill 3 holes, number 1, number 2, number 3 hole, and then we need to mill, if you can see, we need to mill the outer periphery. So laser pointer. So we need to mill the outer periphery. Okay. So this is a straight line. Straight lines means we need to apply straight line interpolation or linear interpolation. Then from here to here is also straight line. So we need to apply linear interpolation. Then from here until here is a curve. So we need to apply circular interpolation. Okay. And after that, we have to go straight, again linear interpolation, and then again linear interpolation. So we have 2 types of operations that are required to be performed. Number 1 is drilling of 3 holes, number 1, number 2, number 3. And number 2, second operation is the milling of the outer periphery. So for applying these 2 operations, let us take a start. Let us take a start with drilling 3 holes. So in order to drill holes, we need to first know the dimensions of the holes, okay, which are given in the diagram, as well as we need to know what is the position of the holes with respect to origin. So as you can see in the diagram, the position of the holes with respect to origin is given. Our origin is 0, 0, and our hole number 1 is located at 70 millimeters x-axis and 30 millimeters y-axis. Similarly, our hole number 2, this is hole number 2, let's say, it is located at 120x and 30y. And our hole number 3 is located 70x and 60y. So what I want to do is, first I need to position the tool. So I will position a tool which is little bit away from the workpiece. So my objective number 1 is bring the tool near to the workpiece, but don't touch the workpiece. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my tool. Let's assume that this laser pointer is my tool. So I'm going to bring my laser pointer and the tool towards the workpiece, and then I will make it stay there. Okay. We need to be precaution, and we need to take precaution that the tool does not touch the workpiece initially. Once my tool is nearby, then I will tell the tool to go to this point and move. Okay. Once I tell the tool that it should move, then it will move from the first place until this place. Okay. After it has reached the hole number 1, then I will give the instructions for the tool to go down and start drilling. So this is how we are going to move on with the drilling steps. So let's take a look at the problem. What does the problem say, and what is the given data in the problem? So as you can see in example 7.1a, point-to-point drilling, it means we are going to use motion control system, which is point-to-point. So motion control system, MCS, is going to be point-to-point system. Okay. Now, in order to solve the problem, we need to gather the data. What is the data which is given in the problem? It is important and essential to write the given data in the form of the heading given data. So if you are going to write in the exam this heading given data, then you are going to get marks for this as well, because what you're doing is you are reading the problem and getting the information from the problem. You are analyzing, and you have started the process of analyzing the problem. That is why it is important to solve the problem systematically. So number 1 is given data. What is given data? Let us see in the problem. So this problem states that this example presents the NC part program in word address format. Okay, in word address format for drilling 3 holes. So I have to drill 3 holes. Okay. The outside edges of the starting work part have been rough cut by a jigsaw and are slightly oversized by subsequent profile milling. The 3 holes to be drilled in this example will be used to locate and fixture the part for profile milling in the following example. For the present drilling sequence, the part is gripped in place so that its top surface is 40 mm above the surface of the machine tool table. So this part is basically gripped so that its top surface is 40 mm above the machine tool. So the machine tool is around about 40 mm above. This provides ample clearance beneath the part for hole drilling. So currently the position is that our part is lying on the bed and the machine tool is quite far away and the vertical distance between them is 40 millimeter. Okay. This is my tool. This is my work piece or work part. Okay. The X, Y, and Z axes are defined as shown in figure P7A.4.A. So if we go back, then X, Y, and Z axes are shown. So X, Y, and Z axes are shown like this, X and Y. Okay. Next, a 7 mm diameter drill corresponding to the specific hole size has been chucked into the CNC drill press. The drill will be operated at a feed. Feed is given. F is equals to 0.05 millimeter per revolution. Okay. And a spindle speed. So S spindle speed is given as 1,000 revolution per minute. Okay. Corresponding to a surface speed of about 0.37 meter per second. So surface speed is not important, which is slow for aluminum work part material. At the beginning of the job, the drill point will be positioned at a target point located at, so the initial position is given, initial position coordinates are given, which is X is equals to 0, Y is equals to minus 50, and Z is equals to plus 10. Okay, which are specified, the units specification is millimeters. The program begins with the tool position at the target point. So we need to start the program so that the tool has been positioned at the coordinates which are given. So let us start writing the NC program. Okay. So let's move forward. So I will remove the solution. Let's start ourselves. Okay. So we need to have G and M codes with us also. So please open G and M code separately in your laptop so that it is easier for you guys to start the programming. So I will open G and M code separately also. Okay. So what should we do first? First of all, we need to tell computer that I'm going to give you order in millimeters, not in inches. Okay. This is the first order that I need to give. So if you want to give this order, then open your table, open your G and M code table, go to table 7A.2 and see where it is written that I should give the orders in millimeter. So go to G number 21, G21 code, and you can see that input value specified in millimeter. So now I will use this code and tell machines everything from now on will be in millimeter. So let's write our sequence number 1. So let's write N01. This is my line number 1. Okay. First thing is I need to tell the machine, okay, you have to do everything in millimeter. G21, everything in millimeter. Okay. Then what I need to do is I need to specify what are the coordinate system which I'm going to use, whether it is absolute or incremental. Okay. So it is up to the students which coordinate system they want to use, which coordinate system they are happy with. Okay. In the book, they have used absolute system. So if you want to use absolute system, then go to the G and M code table, G code table, and see where it is written absolute system, coordinate system. So if you can see coordinate systems are given as G90 and G91. So if you want to use G90 for absolute, then use G90. So I will be using G90. So G90 is the coordinate system absolute. ABS absolute coordinate system. Okay. Now I have told the machine that I will give you the order in millimeter. I have told the machine you need to listen to me based on absolute coordinate system. Now I want the tool to move near to the machine, but don't touch it. I want the tool to move to the coordinates which have been defined in the problem. Okay. So in order to make the tool move, we need to tell and give interpolation, whether it is going to move straight or it is going to move in circular. So I want to give movement order to the tool. Okay. So in order to give movement order to the tool, you can see, just a second, G90. Okay, so now I need to tell the machine the coordinates which have been given. So in order to specify coordinates, you can go to the G code table and see G92. Okay, G92 has been given specify location coordinate axis relative to the starting location of the cutting tool used in milling and drilling. So now I have to tell the machine, please follow this coordinates. Okay, so I will be writing G92. So G92, specify location of the coordinate axis system, origin. So my origin coordinates are given. What they were given, you can see here, initial position coordinates are given. So let us write these in G and M codes. Okay, so X is 0. You have to write everything in capital words. Y minus 50 and Z 10. Okay, it is written in the book 0, minus 50, 0, 50.0, 10.0, but it's up to you guys. It's not a matter. So I have now given coordinates. Okay, so coordinate established, millimeter established, absolute system is established. Now let's move over to the hole. Let's move the tool to the hole. Okay, so in order to move the tool to the hole, let's write the second sentence. So N02. Okay, so how to move the tool? Last lecture I told you guys G00, G01, G02, G03 in the table are all related to movement of the tool. Okay, G00 is point to point movement, immediately move towards that point. Okay, so now I'm not doing any milling, I just want the tool to move towards the hole. So I will give G00 point to point movement. So I will use here G 0 0. Point to point movement, but which place? So give us the coordinate of the whole number 1. So coordinates of the whole number 1 are x 70, y 30. Okay. Noting because there is no change in the z direction, so there is no need to specify z again. So you can just write x and y only, because x and y are changing only. So x is 70, y 30. Okay, G00 means point to point, P to move, point to point movement. Now my tool is right above the hole. Let's start the spindle. Let's specify the feed unit. Let's specify the feed rate, and then tell the tool to move downwards and start drilling. Okay. So in order to do that, let's go to sentence number 3. N03. Okay. So now when I go to sentence number 3, I have to do G01 linear interpolation. Then we have G95. G95 is specify feed per revolution in milling. Okay. And then I will write the feed, and then I will write the spindle speed, and then I will start the spindle. Okay. So let's tell the tool, okay, that you have to move downward. Okay, but before that we need to specify feed. So I will write the feed first. I will write I will specify the feed unit first. Our unit of feed is millimeter per revolution, as given in the given data, millimeter per revolution. So let me go to the table and see G95 is feed millimeter per revolution. So I will write the code G95 first. I wrote G95 first. Now I want to specify the feed, amount of feed. Okay. So how much is the amount of feed? 0.05. Okay. What is the code for feed? So you go to the table number A7, table number 7A1. Okay. So in order to specify feed, what is the, how to specify feed? Go to table 7A.1 in the book chapter or in the slides, and you can see that for specifying feed we have the word F, and then in front of F we need to write the feed rate. Okay, so now I have already defined the unit with the help of G95. So G95 is feed unit. After specifying the feed unit, I will tell the feed rate. So I will write here F. How much is the feed rate? 0.05. 0.05 millimeter per revolution. So 0.05. Okay. Then I want to start the spindle. Okay, and I want to specify how much is the spindle speed. Okay, so go once again to table 7A.1 and see how to specify spindle speed. So the unit for specifying the spindle speed is, or the word is S. Okay, and spindle speed is given in revolution per minute. Revolution per minute. So I will go back to my question given data. Okay, and I will see that the spindle speed is given in revolution per minute. Okay, so I will go down again for my program. and I will write S1000. Specify spindle speed S1000. Okay. Then I have specified I've given the machine the input of spindle speed. Now I want to start the tool. So I will start the tool by giving the action order. Action order is usually M code. So action, take action using M code, start spindle. Okay, I will start the spindle. So what is the code for start spindle? M03 and M04. Okay, so M03 or M04, which code should we use? So I will go back to the problem and I will see how do we want to start the spindle, clockwise or anti-clockwise. So the spindle speed is 1000 revolution and the clockwise direction is not given. So it is not mentioned whether clockwise or anti-clockwise. So you guys can assume any value. For the sake of simplicity, let's assume M03, which is clockwise direction spindle speed. So I will go back and I will start M03. So my spindle has started. Now I will tell, now that the spindle has started, the tool is rotating. Now I will tell it to go down and drill. So to move means G01. Okay, I have to make the cutting process while moving down, which is linear interpolation. So for linear interpolation, for moving downwards, if the tool needs to move while moving, it has to move downwards. This is called is in straight line. So this is linear interpolation. And the code for linear interpolation is G01. So this is G01. So I will go back to my program and now I will specify G01. G01. I will tell the machine to move. Where to move? It has to move downwards. How much it has to move downwards? That's the question. How much should be the depth of my hole? So let's go back to the problem and see what is the hole dimensions that are required. So it is telling us that we should have the dimension of the hole. How much is the depth? So you can see it is in the diagram. As you can see, we have a through hole and the depth of the hole is 10. Okay. Okay. So I will give machine the instruction that the tool is moving already. Now just go down -10. Why -10? Because in the diagram, as you can see, this is the 0 point. So I want to drill the hole until 10 mm. Okay. So I want the machine to go 10 millimeter below z-axis. Okay. So this is my workpiece. This is my axis. Okay. At this point we have 0. This is -10. This dimension is -10. So now I will go and tell you move, and you move in the direction z -10. So now the tool has gone down -10. Okay. After the tool has gone -10 and has done the drilling, I want it to go upward again, go back. So in order to make it go back, I will write another sentence N03. In order to go back, just linear interpolation go up. So G01, G01 Z 010.0. So now it has gone up. Simple. Now I have done the drilling of the hole. Now I want to move to the second hole. Okay. So quickly go to the second hole. So now we will repeat what we have done already. So N0, this was N04, now N05, point to point movement, quickly go to that point. So G00, X, 1 to 0.0, Y, Y is 30 already, so Y is 30 already actually, so no need to mention Y also, I think. Okay. I'm moving forward. You can go up also. You can drill hole number 1, then you can go up and drill the hole. I'm moving forward. So I want to drill the second hole, which is in front. So I will go in front. Now I will do linear interpolation N00, N06. Now my tool is on top. So I will tell it to go down because spindle is running already. Spindle is running already. So I will tell it to go down with a feed rate of 0.005. Okay. So N006, G01 linear interpolation. How much? We need to specify feed once again, G95. Okay. Specify feed G95. We have to specify feed again and again for every drilling because feed means drilling process. Then F 0.05. Then you have to go X. X is nothing, only Z. Z -10. Now it has gone down. Now we need to move back again. So N07, G01, move back, Z 10.0. Move back. Okay. So this is how, guys, we can finish this drilling process. So let's assume that I have done all the drilling. Now I want to stop the program. Okay. So what I will do is I will write the last sentence. Okay. After drilling the hole, I want it to come back to the original position. So point to point G0, come back to the coordinate X 0, Y -50, and M05. What does M05 mean? Stop spindle. And then I want to finish the program. So N09 is M30. Finish program. So this is how you guys can do programming. Okay. So you guys can copy paste the code also in this simulator. We copy paste the code. There is one mistake which I have done. If somebody can highlight the mistake, I will be very happy. There is a very major mistake I have done. during writing the program, I made a mistake. And the mistake is that I did not put semicolon. Okay. In order to finish the program, in order to finish every sentence, we have to write semicolon. So remember this, otherwise your whole program will be not able to run. Okay. So let us start the simulation. I will start plot button. Okay, you can see this. Okay. So how the tool is moving, it moves from here, goes down, go up, go to the next hole, go down, go up, go to the next hole, go down, go up, and then it comes back to its original position and the program ends at M30. Okay. So you guys can simulate using software also. So this was all about turning GNM codes. If you guys have any confusion, please do ask me. Otherwise, we will proceed to the class exercise for you guys. Okay. So since nobody has any question, then I guess please open your Google Classroom. Okay. And after opening the Google Classroom, you guys can see there is an activity. Okay. There is a class activity for today. Please open this and you guys can start solving the assignment. Okay, this is a class activity. You guys can start now. You guys have 15 minutes. And if you guys can solve this in the class, then please post it. In the test, I will give you 2 marks for solving this in the class. Okay. So these are extra marks I will give you if you guys can solve this in the class and post your answers in Google Classroom. So please proceed and I will give you extra marks in your test number 2 for solving this. After solving, please take a picture or take a snap or just write it in Word file and you can put it in the Google Classroom and submit it. Good, guys. So 2 students have submitted. You guys have 3 or 4 more minutes. So, Eldridge, after you have bring the tool upwards, then you have to put the tool back to origin also. Okay, so you need to bring the tool back to the origin from where you started. Okay.
Oh, okay, doctor.
Yeah. So what you go is just tell the tool, okay, point to point rapid G00, X0, Y0, Z0. If your origin was X0, Y0, Z0. For
Oh,
Petrus, the origin was X minus 10, Y minus 10, because Petrus want to keep the tool away from the workpiece. So that is why Petrus specified that X should be minus 10, Y should be minus 10. It should be little bit away from the workpiece. So Z is 10, yeah. So just bring the tool back to origin. Okay, good. Good, Petrus, and good, Eldridge. Good work. Number 3 is Mr. Osman. And Mr. Osman also has M30, M05, M05. Good, Mr. Osman also. But my suggestion to Mr. Osman and Mr. Eldridge is that if you specify that the origin is 0, 0, 0 and your basically workpiece is also 0, 0, 0, then there is a chance that the tool might stick to the workpiece. Okay, so to be extra cautious, just a little bit 10 mm or 5 mm get away from the workpiece. Okay, in the Y and X and Z direction. So in the Z direction, never keep Z0, because then if your Z is 0, then it means that your tool is already touching the workpiece. So to be on the safe side, keep the tool above 10 mm, okay, and on the safe side, keep the X and Y also a little bit away. Your origin should be little bit away from the workpiece.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Doctor, how about the diameter of the
Tool.
hole?
Yeah, so if the tool diameter is, let's say, 12 mm, then you should have at least 12 mm, what do you call, clearance, okay, at least. Or the radius, at least the radius, perhaps. That's a good question. And here the cutting speed feed is 0.06. Okay, good. Good. So, good work by 3 students have submitted. So good work by them. Okay. I would recommend other students to also proceed. Now I will move on to the next exercise. Okay. The next exercise is about milling machine. Okay. How do we perform milling with the help of G and M codes? So it's a little bit tricky and it's a little bit different. Okay. So let's take a look at the milling NC example and what is the given data. I will solve it only the half part, and the rest of that, the repetitive part, you guys can solve yourself. So the three holes have been drilled already now. Now after solving the previous example, the 3 holes have been drilled. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to mill the outside edges. So I have to mill the outside edges of the workpiece. Okay. The coordinates are same as given in the previous example, and the part is fixtured so that its top surface is 40 millimeter above the surface of the machine tool. Okay. A 20 millimeter diameter end mill with 4 teeth is used. So diameter, let's say, I'm not sure whether we need diameter is equals to 20 millimeter. Okay. The cutter has a side tooth engagement length of 40 millimeter. Side tooth engagement length of 40 millimeter throughout the machining sequence. The bottom tip of the cutter will be positioned 25 millimeter below the part top surface, which means I have to do cutting, or Z should be equals to minus 25 millimeter. So I have to do the milling minus 25 millimeter. So the depth of the milling should be minus 25. Since the part is 10 millimeter thick, this Z will allow the side cutting edges of the milling cutter to cut the full thickness. So the objective for our milling tool is basically to cut through and all the edges. Okay, so there should be nothing remain. So that is why it has gone minus 25. Okay, this position will allow the side cutting. Okay. The cutter will be operated at a spindle speed S is given equals to 1000 revolution per minute, same thing, which corresponds to a speed of 0.02 millimeter per tooth. The tool path, the feed rate is F is equals to 50 millimeter per minute. Okay. The tool path to be followed by the cutter is shown in figure. The numbering of this is this. At the beginning of the cutter will be positioned so the center tip. And I will look at x50 minus 5. So the coordinates, origin coordinates. Origin coordinates are x equals to 0, y is equals to minus 50, and z equals to plus 10. The problems we did with the tool position in this location. Okay, so let us start the problem. Now, if you look at the diagram P7A.5, then this diagram has been written with the help of every single line number. Okay, so for N001, we have it mentioned that N001 means that the tool is in this state. N002 means that the tool is in this position. Then N003, the tool moves to this position. N004 means the tool moves to this position. Now, in this program or in this milling process, we need to remember that we have to give cutter compensation also, which in the last lecture we saw or we observed. Okay, why we need to give cutter compensation? Because cutter has certain amount of radius and cutter has to move inside the milling. So this cutter is going to basically move inside the workpiece to do the cutting process. So for that purpose, we have to give cutter compensation. And for cutter compensation, we have to specify the radius, or we have to specify the cutter properties in the codes. Okay, so that is something that we will learn also. So let's do the first thing, which is the first thing to do is specify units. After specifying the units, tell which positioning system we need to use. Okay, whether absolute or incremental. Then we need to specify the origin. So we have to specify G92 for origin. What is the current position? Then we will tell the cutter to move towards the workpiece. Okay, so let's take a start. N001. Okay, so G21 for specify in millimeter. G90 for programming in absolute coordinates. Okay, absolute coordinates, this is millimeter. Now I need to tell the tool coordinates. Okay, so where are the tool coordinates? G92 is used for specify the coordinates axis system relative to the starting location of the cutting tool. The coordinates are given in the problem already: x0, y minus 50, and z 10. So I will write x 0.0, y minus 5 0.0, z 0 1 0.0, and then I will end the use semicolon for ending the line. Okay. Now we move on to N002. Now I have to tell that you need to move from this position, from the origin. You have to move from origin towards the workpiece. You have to touch the workpiece now. Okay. Not touch, but move so that after you are above, you will go down. Okay. So you have to move towards the workpiece. So means point to point movement. You have to move quickly. So for quick movement, we have G00. Okay. Then where should we move? Okay. We have to move in rapid movement to the cutter depth, turn spindle on. Okay. Yeah, this is tricky. Initially, this is my workpiece, and my cutter is not aligned with the what you call workpiece. The cutter is above. Okay. I want the cutter to move down first, then move towards the object and do milling process. Okay. In drilling, what happens? We move towards the location, then we start drilling process. In milling process, what happens is that we start the spindle, okay, and then we move in towards the location from where we need to start the milling machine. So initially at the origin, my tool is above. Okay, so now my next point is to make the tool down, start the spindle, and then move towards the workpiece. Okay, that is why I want to make the workpiece go down at a height which is specified -25. So this is my tool, this is my workpiece. I want it to go -25. So I will mention G00 Z -25. Now I want to start the spindle. So I will specify the speed, spindle speed 1000, and start the spindle M03 in clockwise direction. And the sentence ends. So now I am still in this area, N02, I am still away from the workpiece. Now I will make the workpiece move towards the milling machine, and the moment it moves, it will start the milling process. That is why I will use linear interpolation. So N03 is linear interpolation G01. Okay, so what are the coordinates of G01? We have to move. When we move and we are doing the milling process, then we have to specify the feed and the feed rate unit. So G94 is the feed rate unit, which is in millimeter per minute. So G94, what is the feed given? F is 50. But here in the solution, you can see F is 40. So this is wrong. In the solution, the feed given is 40. Whereas in the problem, if you see, the feed given is 50. So we have to make this correction. And we will write feed is 50. So F50.0. Okay. Next, G94 F50. Okay. Next is G42. What is G42? Cutter compensation. Okay, should be cutter compensation, G42. What happens is that when you have got a workpiece and your cutter has to cut the material, okay, so we need cutter compensation here. That is why we need to have the code G42, which also specifies the radius of the tool also. Okay, because now we are doing the peripheral milling. So we will write here G42, start cutter compensation. And with G42, we have to, why we are using G42, why not 43? The question is, Why not G41? So cutter offset compensation left of the part. Okay, if this is my plate, if I'm in this region, this is left part. If I'm this region, this is right part. So I am moving on the right side of the workpiece. That is why this is G42. Okay, so I will use here G42. How much is the diameter or radius? Okay, we have to use the diameter or radius code. So go to the code of diameter radius. I have the code with me. So the code is cutter radius or nose radius must be specified in the block. Cutter radius must be specified. So cutter radius is how much? Cutter radius will be taken from the machine automatically when I specify D05. Okay, so in table number 7A1, table 7A1, you will see D05 written. Okay, and if I go and check my problem also, the radius, a 20 millimeter diameter means 10 millimeter, 4 teeth will be used, 40 millimeter cutter position. That position, since the part is 10 millimeter thick. Yes, since the part is 10 millimeter thick, the Z position will okay. Cutter diameter data has been manually entered in the offset register 05. In the problem, it is given, so I have to write and given data, cutter offset register 05 is given. Okay, so it means cutter offset register 05 means this is equals to D05. That is why I will write here in the code G42D05, the diameter compensation or the cutter compensation. Okay, next. Now we specify the feed. So feed has already been specified. That's it. And now it is telling to go to Y0. Okay. So G01 is linear interpolation. So I will write here Y0. Move towards Y0. So now I am at this point. Because of cutter compensation, this is the distance I have left. Okay. So I am not at this position. Now I want to move forward. So very simple linear interpolation, G01 from here to this part X. How much is the distance of X? X is 160. Okay, 160. So go down and X 160. So N04 G01 X 160. Now I am at this position. Now I want to move here until this point. So what is the coordinate of this point before the curve starts? This is also linear interpolation until this point. So this point is from here to here is y is 1 y 70. The distance from here to here is 70. So G00 again N005, sorry, G01, not 00, G01 Y60. It was 70, why not, why it is 60? Should be 70. Let me check. Oh, it's 60. Yeah, Y is 60 here, my mistake. So Y is 60. Now I want to do circular interpolation because I want to move in the circular direction. I want to do milling in the circular direction. So I will apply circular interpolation, which will help me do circular milling. Okay, so what is the code for circular milling? You go to the GNM code, okay, and you see milling, circular milling. Circular milling is circular interpolation, clockwise or anti-clockwise. I am moving in this direction, I am moving anti-clockwise, so I will be using G03 circular interpolation, counterclockwise. And block must include either arc radius, so I need to mention the arc radius or arc center, or coordinates of the endpoint position must be specified. So I need to mention the radius of the curve and until which point it should stop. Okay, so the final position should be mentioned also. So I will go back to the problem and I need to know what is the radius. Okay, so the radius given in the problem is 30. So R is 30. And the coordinates when it should stop, the tool will stop as which coordinate? X is equals to yeah, so these are the coordinates. So x equals to 130 and y is equals to the y direction is 90. So this is given 90. This line is at y location 90 and this curve will stop at x is equals to 130. Okay, so the coordinates of this area or this position coordinates are x is 130, y is 90. These are the end coordinates. The radius is also 30. So I will write my program now. Okay. N006 G17. What is G17? Go to the table. G17 is XY plane milling. Okay, so whenever you're specifying the milling for the circular interpolation, then you have to specify the plane. So this is XY plane. So if I'm going to draw this in 3 dimensions, okay, then my workpiece is like this. Okay, so my workpiece lies in which plane? This is y plane, this is Z plane, Z, Y and X. So my tool has to move in the XY plane to make the curve. So the plane in which I am working is the XY plane. So the G code for XY plane milling, G code can be seen in the table. So go to table of the G code. And you can see G17 selection of XY plane in the milling. So G17 select G17. Okay. So now I will go back to my program and I will write G17 because I am doing milling in the G17 or in the G series in the XY plane. Okay. So G17. Next, G03, circular interpolation, right side. So G03. Okay. Then we have to specify the last point of the milling. After the miller will stop the circular milling process. So the last part is X 130.0, Y 90.0. And I need to specify the how much should be the radius. So the radius given in the problem is R is equals to 30. So I will write R030.0 and I will finish the sentence. Okay. So this was the most important point that we need to consider. After this, we have to go to linear interpolation, then again linear interpolation back to the origin, and then go back away from the center, and then come back again to the origin. That's it. This is how we solve the milling process safely. So I will not finish the whole numerical, this part program, NC part program, but I will finish until here because this is something that we need to understand. After N006 line, it's straightforward linear interpolation, again linear interpolation, then point-to-point movement, then point-to-point movement back to the origin, and then the last but not least, N011 M30, finish the program, stop the spindle. M05 is stop the spindle. That's it. Okay. So this was all about examples of milling and turning G and M codes. 12 students have submitted the assignment. That's very good. So definitely whoever attempts, I will give some marks. I will give them compensation in the test as well. So thank you for submitting the marks. So this is all about G&M codes. You can do the simulation also. You just copy paste this code in the simulation online, and you can see how the tool moves in the in the directions. Okay. So this is all about today's exercise. Now I will move forward to the last topic of the lecture, which is CNC trends and technology. I will cover it up very fast. Okay. Is there any question or any confusion regarding examples or solving the G&M codes? Then please let me know and ask me now. If not, then I guess, yeah, Osman.
Not yet.
Okay. So I hope students are getting good idea about G&M coding. Okay. I can see some students are solving in the very diligently, so that's very nice. And yeah, let me stop presentation here. And so I will start the class here on another computer. Okay, guys, so we are going to start our last topic for the CNC technology. And in these topics, I will be sharing you some of the trends and technological developments for this process. Let me add the student. Okay. Okay. So when we talk about trends and technological developments, okay, we see that now currently with the coming and with the advent of CNC technology, new things are coming up. They are now getting integrated with the new systems, new machine learning, artificial intelligence, etc. So these are some things which are coming up nowadays in the current CNC technological development and trends. So what are those trends, and how do we see CNC system based on those trends? Let's take a start. So CNC technological trends. So in the background, you can see that these are the companies which are CNC or NC developers. These are the machine companies that are very famous, and they are currently in the process of integrating new and latest systems in CNC technology. Okay. So when we talk about G&M codes, now there is a process to basically change the G&M codes to STEP NC or standard for exchange product model data. Now people are trying to change G&M codes to a new and easy machine language learning. I can see myself also sometimes I'm getting confused which code to apply, G01, G02, G03. It's a little bit tricky. So what happens is that you get confused, and the machine operator who have a lot of experience also, sometimes they are also in trouble. So for creating complex parts and for creating complex geometries, people are moving towards a new or relatively newer system, which is STEP NC technology. This is one of the trend. Now with the before Corona or before COVID, previously the global CNC market was very good. Companies like Delta, Fanuc, Haas Automation, Mitsubishi, and Siemens were getting superb orders and superb global growth. And you can see in America, in Europe, and in Southeast Asia, the growth rate was almost more or less the same. Here you can see in 2016 as well that CNC technology was used in machine tool, semiconductor packaging, other handling systems, and in other industries. So they are relatively mixed when it comes to the ratio by which the growth is increasing. If you take a look at the global market distribution, then milling and turning are accounting to around about 70% of the machine tool or machining process which are being carried out. So what you have learned in the class is more or less about milling and drilling. Okay, milling and drilling contributes to around about 60% of the machining. So altogether, drilling, milling, and turning are contributing to around about 90% of the machine process which is being carried out to create and manufacture parts. When we talk about the success or growth rate, then CAGR basically is a term, compound annual growth rate, CAGR. This is the rate of return that would be required for an investment to grow. It is based on the formula that the beginning value of the product and the final value of the product, these are two commodities. So based on this, how much is the percentage profit or annual growth can be perceived. So when we talk about machining and CNC technology, then we need to see what is the CAGR value of the CNC technology. So the CAGR value of the CNC technology is for Southeast Asia is growing very, very quickly. It's around about 44.8%. It means that CNC technologies is one of the technology which is coming up very quickly in Southeast Asia, and in other European countries, because it is already saturated and it has developed, it's not coming up that fast. And where is this growth targeted? This growth is targeted towards automotive, electrical machinery, and other sectors. So among all the end use applications, the automotive and transportation segment is estimated to account to about nearly 1/3 of the overall value of the opportunity created across the forecasted duration. So the forecasted duration is 2020 to 2030. So it means that the CNC technology, numeric control technology, has a very good prospect for the next 10 years as well. So those people who are working in this sector have good chances of growth as well. Next, now Corona came. So what is the impact of Corona and COVID on CNC and machine tool market? So what has happened is that it has severely impacted the machine tools imports and exports. However, because of resilience, because of the companies who have done very good profits in the previous year, they still have got good risk analysis and they are still competing. There are some good companies which have not even taken the impact of COVID. So DMG, Okuma, and Japanese corporations such as Komatsu are the ones who are doing recovery at this stage. Next, we move on to 2010 to 2020 machine tool output. So as you can see that the output was increasing for 2010 to 2020. However, post-COVID, what happened? What happened in the United States in the last 30 days when it was 2020 April was that the total utilization of the CNC technology decreased. Similarly, the 70 moving average, if you see for US, okay, all the for 2020 there has been a significant decrease in the CNC system. The more there is a decrease, the more there is a chances that after the recovery it will increase. Okay, so it means that initially throughout the year there is a significant amount of orders, and then as the year progresses the amount of orders decrease as well. And with respect to the number of years 2018, 19, and 20, the outlook remains almost a bit same. However, for 2020, due to COVID, the production utilization has decreased as well. So if you want to download these trends and if you want to go and see, okay, what is the outlook of the industry, you guys will have to download these expensive reports which cost around $5,400. So it's not easy for anybody to access the trends and current developments. These are a major part of economic growth, which are basically studied by the think tanks. And then what happens is that they put their findings in very expensive reports. So if you're looking forward to see what is the outlook of global machine tools, you will have to pay around about $5,400. Next, what are the major key players when it comes to CNC technologies? Some of them are written: Fanuc, Siemens. These are the companies which are making CNC controllers. Okay. So if you take a look at global CNC controllers, now they are looking forward to create 5-axis or even multi-axis CNC machining systems. So these were some of the trends which have been set up or which the industry wants to move on. Next is, what are the latest CNC technologies? What is going on currently? Okay, what is something? How is CNC evolving? So the first thing which comes to mind is that how the current information technology is impacting our technology, CNC technology, how computer science and mechanical engineering or manufacturing engineering is going to integrate together. So the best way for them to integrate together is the implementation of computerized systems, the latest Internet of Things, machine learning, artificial intelligence, embedded systems, sensors, actuators, etc. These are the things which are required to be applied to our mechanical and manufacturing systems. Only then we can realize the impact and true potential of IT with respect to or combined with manufacturing. So I will open a video for you guys to see. Okay, there is a link. So I will start presenting the link. A tab, which tab, how to implement. So you guys can have a look.
This is Jim. He is a manufacturer and owns a manufacturing plant. His plant has many things at one place, such as a supply chain and chain in the back office. All these things generate lots and lots of data, like transactional data, ERP data, CRM data, and public data. These are all the things together which empower and enable his employees to connect with customers and business partners. Now, even though Jim's factory looks well equipped, he still faces several challenges. During the production process, machines stop working frequently without any notice. Or sometimes the control system gets many errors at the time of product manufacturing. Even when Jim gets a lot of data, he cannot use it to predict the outcomes he wants. So, what could be the solution for Jim's problems? SoftWeb's IoT solutions are the best option for Jim to overcome these challenges. Whether it's a machine failure, problems in control systems, or getting accurate results from the data. Let's see how these IoT solutions can help Jim and his team. The Internet of Things, IoT, starts with the things installed in the manufacturing plant, the things that matter most to his business. The first step is adding sensors throughout the factory. In this production unit, IoT systems can help in monitoring production flow in real time to eliminate waste and unnecessary work in inventory production with the help of the sensors installed in the conveyor belt. All the data gathered by the sensors is sent to the cloud for analysis and creating predictive models. Not only this, but it will help engineers in implementing condition-based maintenance alerts to eliminate machine downtime and increase output by predicting machine failure. IoT can also help management to manage machines remotely, knowing temperature limits and other settings to save energy and reduce costs. With the collected data from sensors, operations managers can see their production line status and recommend adjustments to manage operational costs using data visualization tools. The R&D department can get insights from the usage patterns of multiple clients and track their equipment failure, enabling Jim's company to re-engineer products for better performance. On the other side, his field service management can identify when to deploy the right resources for predictive maintenance to minimize equipment failures and reduce service costs. With all these solutions, Jim can now tap into data with IoT dashboards and uncover actionable intelligence. He can also modernize how he does his business. IoT is a combination of sensors, cloud infrastructure, data analytics, and visualizations that helps you create a smart manufacturing unit. To know more about how we can help your business take advantage of the Internet of Things, contact us at info@softwebsolutions.com.
66345 So you guys just saw the impact of IoT on how it can be implemented in industry and how we can use it for enhancing the production efficiency, the delivery efficiency, etc. So same is the case for machine learning. Machine learning is basically a sub-part of artificial intelligence in which we take the data from the machine, analyze it, and then help to solve the problems of the machine itself by feeding some algorithm which will help the machine solve its own problems and take actions immediately or give us the recommended actions that can be taken. So machine learning is also a part of Internet of Technology, IoT, Internet of Things. So here is an example of implemented IoT system for a manufacturing industry. This is powered by IBM technology. Okay, in this IoT system, you can see that you have plant manager, you have got line operator, and you have got fleet management. Okay. If you see here, you can see that you've got 6 lines, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then line 6 is completely disabled. You can see line 1 has got 2 machines. Okay, green shows that the line is working very correctly at a very good efficiency. Then yellow shows it is working at a reduced efficiency, and red means that it is working at a critical efficiency. Then you have got overall effectiveness of the equipment, OEE, which is currently at 41%. We have the downtime average. These are some things which are directly given to you as a part of Internet of Things IoT system. Okay. And how many orders have been achieved? So out of 1,392, until now 1136 orders have been achieved. So if you're going to click OEE or overall equipment utilization, then you can see that it has been less than 8% in the past 3 days, and we are getting 5% less than the targets. So these are the cumulative KPIs which can be generated directly from the IoT manufacturing system. If you can see here overall equipment effectiveness, then here you can see the machines, what is the downtime, what is the hourly rate, okay, what is the faults which is coming up. So there is machine jam fault which is coming up too much, okay. There is empty magazine, door 2 is open. So these are some of the faults which are coming up and they are reducing the downtime, okay. You can see the downtime KPI as well. This has been mentioned here as well. The downtime KPI can be observed, and these are some of the major reasons because of which the downtime is coming. So these are some of the indicators that you are getting directly at the tip of your fingerprints on your smartphone, on your computers. Next, we see the order count, whether we are achieving the overall KPI. So it looks like the weekly deficit has been 577 orders. Today's deficit might be 3 because of the fact that the machines are not operating at the correct efficiency. So the artificial intelligence based IoT things is going to predict whether you're going to complete your orders, etc. as well based on its algorithms. Next, if you go to the operations or fleet management, then it is also going to give you what is the outlook of your fleets, what is the delivery time deliveries, what is the current status of each and every single thing. So every single thing now is automated and it is based on AI and IoT systems which can be implemented. And that is where we are moving towards smart industries or what you call smart systems. So the question is, how do these technologies are helping CNC innovation? Okay. So IoT or Internet of Things is basically one of the factors because of which CNC technology can be improved. How? You can monitor whether the machine vibration level are exceeding or not. You can monitor how much is the production rate that you can get. You can monitor how much is the power requirement, how much is the equipment downtime, and you can detect which parts of your machine are moving towards end of lifetime so that you can order the replacement in time. And the order takes place directly as well through AI technology. Next is how it can help us see that with IoT and with these things, we can do greater parts complexity, okay? We can get more accurate and precision. Nowadays, with the current precisionness, we can get turning accuracy of 1 to 2 micrometer. This is almost equal to, how precise is this? This is equal to human red blood cell, because human red blood cell is 0.7 micrometer. So at cellular level also, we can have extreme efficiency. Next, the rise of multi-axis machining systems. So now we are moving and approaching towards machining systems in which we have 1 axis, 2 axis, 3 axis, but we are moving towards 5 axis machining center. What is this 5 axis? What does it mean? Let's see. I want to show you a video on 5 axis machining system. This is automatic tool change. So we are moving towards automatic tool change and automatic work holding change, or quick work holding workpiece change also. So I have given the links for these video in the lectures as well. You guys can go and proceed. So with the advent of 5-axis machining, we can now get very complex shapes and products, such as what you saw in the video was basically an impeller, pump impeller. So these are some of the technological advancements which are coming up for CNC system and CNC machining. And these are the technological advancements that you're going to observe for all the topics of manufacturing. What I will be teaching in rapid prototyping also. IoT is going in rapid prototyping also. IoT is going into laser welding also. IoT is going into casting also. Each and every single thing will be integrated and embedded with IoT and machine learning systems. Okay. So this was all about CNC system and CNC machining topic. Next will be rapid prototyping topic, for which I will not conduct the class, but I will be conducting a video. That video will be shared via Google Classroom. So this is the end of CNC machining. I hope you guys understood the topic. I hope you guys can solve the numericals yourself, and I hope it was a good experience. So please, for tomorrow, I will upload the video for tomorrow. So please go through the video, and your topic for the section 1 for test 1 topics will be finished tomorrow. Let me know when you guys want to carry on the test 1. Currently, the proposal by one of the student is on Sunday 8 o'clock. However, if somebody has class, then perhaps we can discuss. Please either share on the WhatsApp group when is the test date that you guys want, and let me know. Okay. So that's it. If somebody has any question, let me know. Otherwise, thank you and have a good night and good sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.